Hi everyone, my name is Claudine Lam and I work at SAP. In this video, I will walk you through the steps necessary to create a structure within the Business Explorer Query Designer. The Query Designer is an independent desktop application for defining queries. A structure can be saved and then reused again. You would typically create a BEX query as an output for end-user reporting. With a BEX connection, these queries can be consumed by business object front-end tools such as Analysis, Office or OLAP versions, Design Studio, Webby, Crystal Reports, and Dashboard Designer. The first thing we're going to do is open up our Query Designer. So go to our Start menu, All Programs, Business Explorer, and then open up Query Designer. You'll be prompted to select ABW system. I'm going to choose Sandbox and enter in my password. I'm going to get a blank Query Designer screen. Just going to maximize it here. For this example, I'm going to open up an existing query that doesn't currently have a structure, and we'll go through, create the structure, and then save it so that it can be reused again when using the same info provider. So I'm going to click the Open Query icon at the top left. I have many different options here to find a report, so I can use the find function. This will allow me to search in the descriptions or search in technical names. I usually would search in a technical name. My history, so any reports that I've accessed before, anything saved to my favorites, queries that have been saved to a specific content role, or you could search by info area. In this case, I'm going to use my history, and I'm going to select my forecast versus actual report. So I'm going to click on it, click Open. So my report has now opened up. I'm going to go to my Rows and Columns tab. In this report, I have key figures for number of documents for forecast and actual. And then my rows have my sold to and shipped to party. In this case, I want to create a reusable structure that will actually break down my number of documents for forecast and actual by year and then by month. So for a year and then for a month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click in my columns area, and I'm going to select New Structure. I'm going to right click New Structure, and within there I'm going to say I want a new selection. Once my selection appears, I'm going to right click it, hit Edit. In this case, I want to use year as my description. Within the details of my selection, I want to select my calendar year. So I'm going to drag and drop it onto the right side. I want the user to be prompted in this report so they can select a year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restrict this. I'm going to right click, Restrict. This brings up my history, but what I want to see is all the different variables, which is like different prompts that the user will get once they run the report. So I'm going to hit Variables, and I want them to be prompted to enter in a calendar year. So in this case, I'm going to select calendar year, bring it to the chosen selection side, and click OK. I'm going to click OK again. And now I want to repeat these steps for month. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to select New Selection. A new selection appears. I can double click it, or I can right click Edit. So I'm just going to double click. This time I'm going to use month as my description. I'm going to bring in my calendar year month onto the right side. I'm going to restrict it. Again, I'm going to use the drop down to bring up my variables. I have some predefined variables here, so I'm going to bring in my calendar year month. This will prompt the user to enter in a month when they run the report. And then I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to click OK again. So now I have my structure built. In the preview area, I can see that now I have my number of documents for forecast, and I have it by month and year, and then number of documents for actual, and then I have my month and my year. So if I want this structure to become reusable so that if I have other queries to build, I can reuse it, and it will be in my under my info provider list. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to say save as. I get a pop-up window that says save structure as, so in this case I'm going to call it year and month structure. I'm going to provide it with a technical name. And I'm going to click OK. Now, in my left panel, I now have a folder called structures. So if I expand that folder, I'm going to have two other folders, one with key figures, one without. So I'm going to expand my without key figures, and now I see my year structure. So I can actually, in another report, drag and drop it in, and then my year and month columns will appear. As a last step, you always want to ensure that within the query properties and in the Advanced tab, that the Allow External Access to this query checkbox is selected. This is what is going to enable a Bix connection to connect to this query, and then it can be consumed by Business Object front-end tools such as Analysis, Design Studio, Webby, Crystal Reports, and Dashboard Designer. Thank you.